Happy Friday, you guys. It just started raining here. Cozy little moment on a summer afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well. We're here for our weekend reflection message. And we are pulling from the Radiant Sun Oracle and the Dreaming Way Tarot. So, just so you guys know, I do have a fresh phone screen protector, so this magical aura here will be gone soon. All right, from the Radiant Sun Oracle, we have Jupiter in Cancer, which is speculation, which I believe this was out recently, if not last week. Followed by Jupiter in Scorpio, which is manipulation, which maybe even that was recent as well, maybe even last week. And I shuffled the deck, and those cards have been sitting for several days shuffled. So, and then we have Saturn in Sagittarius, which is fulfillment. Underneath speculation, we have Knight of Cups. Typical Knight of Cups, huh? Speculation. And underneath manipulation, we have Page of Cups. And the manipulation card isn't as dark as it comes across, by the way. And then underneath fulfillment, we have Knight of Swords. Okay, so I think that there is kind of a twofold story going on here. It's like there is a word to the wise and a little bit of like a warning, but also an encouragement. So we have Jupiter in Cancer, which expands the themes of Cancer: home, security, our intimate relationships, things done from the home, philosophy surrounding and connected to the home, deep like wisdom, delving into the depths, expanded horizons, opportunity, optimism, paired with the Knight of Cups, which is all about inspiration and optimism, right? So on the one hand, I feel that we are in this moment where I can't remember what exactly Chiron, I think there's something going on with Chiron right now. Maybe Chiron's retrograde. So that has to do with like deep, distant, like early wounds, like the deepest wounds are like lifelong sort of story defining wounds, right? Going back and healing those in this like incredibly liberating way that helps us propel into the next level, into the next phase of our life. So we have an opportunity to heal something within our history, maybe something within the family even. Those themes had come up recently as well. Healing with the father, healing with the mother. And those things, our father and mother wounds are tied to our security, our finances, our relationships. So it's like, no matter how much work we do on our finances and relationships, we can only get so far if we still haven't like dealt with the root cause, the issue of the festering symptoms that arise within our security, our workplace, our ability to, generate abundance and have, functional relationships with our romantic partners and our other people around us, right? So there is an offer, an opportunity, an invitation on the table. And I think that it is going to make way for potential like tikkun correction or family healing. And I think that this is also tied to something that seems unrelated that's come up recently that has us feeling like there's a new opportunity on the table. Or a new idea that we're excited about it. Maybe it felt like we were in this limbo and in between, not the old thing anymore and not yet the new thing, but we didn't really have anything specific or anything lighting us up. And it was just like kind of a no man's land. Well, I feel like recently or coming soon for you, if not already, there's like a new thing on the table, a new possibility, a new opportunity, new idea. It's got us really excited. And so I think that going into eclipse season and also going into the month of Teshuvah and approaching our spiritual new year. We've already been talking about what we can proactively bring to the table for like that sacrificial love, that healing, that breaking of the ego, so that we can shed what no longer serves us, and we can use this accelerated energy to propel these new seeds that we're planting, rather than using the next 6 months to do the healing work, do the undoing. It's like, do the assignment now, so that you can graduate and move on and move forward to the next phase and the next level and have fun. So again, there is something inspiring, right? The Knight of Cups is a sense of creativity and inspiration. It's an offer. It can be theatrical. It can, think of the arts, think of, performance and peacocking and, showiness and all things creative and performative and putting it out there. Right? The knights are the action, right? And for me, cups are all about creative expression and intuitive things and things of that nature. However, the warning that can come with Knight of Cups is that he's a little bit flippant. Like, he's a little bit non-committal, a little bit Piscean, hard to pin down, can be elusive, can be like, promising the world and delivering nothing, So I think that this opportunity really does, it's going to be dependent on us having commitment and following through, having the excitement that ignites the desire to pursue the thing without having the like flibbertigibbetness that would have us not follow through. So the next couple of cards here, we have Jupiter in Scorpio and Page of Cups. So Jupiter in Scorpio is a deep expansion on like occult wisdom and knowledge and anything that's related to Scorpio. You could have the ability to like see underneath the surface of who people are. You can see them for who they really are. And then you may have the this quality that gets people to open up to you and be their authentic true self to you that maybe they wouldn't others. So maybe you have some kind of access to like things about people that others can't see, or maybe even they open up and tell you their secrets. Or like, for instance, the Page of Cups here is a receptive listener. They are trusted by others. People come to the Page of Cups because they feel safe, and they feel that the Page of Cups is a sensitive listener and is empathic and is like a gentle person and understanding, right? The Page of Cups is a tender soul. They're very creative. They are very empathic. They're very intuitive. So there is this quality here that is a super strength going forward into what you're doing, because if you keep a beginner's mind and remain teachable and pliable, then you can listen to the public, you can listen to your audience, you can listen to the need being asked for, and listen for like what people need help with, what people want. And then that way you can formulate a solution to share with them, to give to them. The warning here is that because people do come to you, they trust you, maybe you do have like extra wisdom and extra insight and good instincts. And so people trust that, and they come to you for that kind of like thing that you offer in your community. You really have to be responsible with that influence, because people put their trust in you. And so that trust that people put in you becomes your greatest resource and asset. But you have to be really respectful and have a lot of integrity with that, and treat it with sacredness, because it's hard to earn people's trust. And also the creator is watching you, and so that you can't lie vibrationally. So when people trust you, it's like because they feel like you're trying to genuinely, you have integrity and you're trying to genuinely bring them like a solution, or you're trying to help, or you're being honest with them, or you're being real. So like in so many situations, what corrupts what is originally a good intention is the ego getting in the way and getting self-obsessed about what you can get and what you can get, instead of just focusing on being the vessel of sharing and coming at it from a consciousness of what can I give, how can I serve, what can I share, and then naturally you just expand the vessel, and the universe makes sure that you're taken care of in return. Whereas if you're thinking, oh, how am I going to get mine, what's best for me, then it starts to contract the vessel. And the universe doesn't feel like you're a proficient channel to pour light through, because it's just going to get hoarded and dammed up, and it's not going to spread and proliferate, right? So being like an influential person who like is sensitive and insightful and receptive to feedback. So you are a sensitive listener, which means that you're listening with your observation, you're listening with your eyes, you're listening with your ears, you're listening with your instincts, you're reading between the lines, you're following patterns, you're seeing, things shifting before people talk about them, right? You're picking up on things that other people don't notice. Okay, so use that to your advantage, but not in a negative or selfish or corrupt way. Use it also to help others. Okay, and so then fulfillment, like what I always notice first about the image in this card is that this man is sitting there and his ship is coming in, right? The Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight, and the knights are about taking action. So the ship has potential to come in the situation, but the situation, it moves very quickly. So you're going to have to move very quickly with the situation and be precise and sort of like let it be imperfect and refine as you go, right? Trial by fire. When I worked in the film industry, there's no training. You're like a freelancer, just like getting your experience as you go, sometimes on like 1 day, gigs at a time, right? So you eat a lot of crow in the beginning. It's very embarrassing. It is a trial by fire. You are wielded in the flames. And that's kind of built this kind of reckless sense of adventure in me, where I don't feel too hung up on waiting until something's perfect to just dive in and kind of like learn on the job. I think that's a great way to approach life and to grow things. And so I think that's what we're dealing with here, is that this, if we heal the family issue that might be coming up, and like for instance, I used as an example last night that I was kind of expecting an opportunity to come up to work on family stuff with parents. Sure enough, it presented. And it presented in a really irritating way that cost me a lot of ego money, right? You're just like, could this be any more insufferable? But I knew that if I gave my willingness to really transmuting the situation and revealing light here, then that would break way for miracles, right? It's like, do I want to be right, or do I want to create miracles? Do I want to channel miracles? The Creator creates miracles, but we have to provide the vessel and the portal for the miracle to be, to flow through. So I think that the healing of the family wound, the early wound that then put all this weight and density on you that's affecting you now in these other areas of your life, I think that dealing with this is going to deal with the root cause of what would what's been holding you back all along, what's been preventing like an accelerated progress. So I think that this could be like that slingshot ride that you can like do at the beach that has the bungee cords. And I don't really suggest doing these rides because they just seem really risky and dangerous, but I used to love doing this crap when I was younger. But like you get like one of those harness things with the seat, and they're all strapped in, and it like pulls you back like really far in these like this big giant human size slingshot, and then the thing lets go and you're like propelled like a trebuchet. Obviously you're still attached to the thing, but that's kind of what it's like. I think that when we allow for the family healing or whatever it is for you that's coming up right now as an irritant, but that it's like obviously an invitation to swallow your pride, put yourself aside, and the harder it is, the greater payoff. Let's just put it that way. It's a more lucrative investment. So, be grateful if it feels like that's a good thing. Okay, and so I think that when we allow ourselves the willingness to open our heart and our consciousness to this, I think that is going to make way for this to be potentially super successful. However, it will come down to you being consistent and showing up in the follow through and embodiment. But like the thing that's going to really set you up for the ultimate success is the family healing. I think that too, the speculation card, the Jupiter in Cancer, has the potential to bring a lot of abundance from the home. So it might be that you have something that's allowing you to either work remotely or work from home or use your home in some way that yields a lot of abundance for you. Generally, when I think about ways to encourage my subconscious to attract abundance, you want to feel abundant and you want to perceive your surroundings. You want to have abundant experiences. So I like to do small things, even if I can only do something small, to make my surroundings feel and look and be abundant to me. And so, feeling like I have a lush environment in my home that's pleasing to me aesthetically, and with having good textures and things everywhere and colors that I like that is it yields back the message of abundance, and it makes me feel abundant. So I think the more we can nurture ourselves with creative abundance in a lot of variety of ways, the more it will yield abundance in all these different areas. But all that we do is moot if we don't do the hard work, which is eating crow. And probably forgiving someone that maybe you feel, and maybe they justifiably really don't deserve it. But it's the gift you're giving yourself to let yourself finally move on and unshackle yourself from this stake in the ground of where you're currently at. All right, you all, that is all for tonight. I will see y'all tomorrow if everything goes as usual. For our Secret Teachings of Jesus segment, Saturday night secret sermon, and that I come in after work and do that late at night. So that usually finally loads by kind of the middle of the night, wee hours of the morning. So you might catch it if you're a night owl, or you might see it in the morning by Sunday. Keep an eye out for that. All right, ciao. Under the soil is the root, which is familial healing and correction. The plant that is growing from this root is the new opportunity or idea that has recently sprouted. There's a twofold message here that hints at Saturn's retrograde, which will expose deception, manipulation, and corruption, and will call the loan, so to speak, on karma, whilst rewarding the work that's been done and the transformation that has already occurred. In this new opportunity, we will embody influence that must be treated with respect and care. It's all about our consciousness, desire, and intention. We have to come from an honest, authentic, and sharing place. There is excitement and inspiration in the air, but this must be channeled into action, consistency, and follow-through. Be teachable. Listen and observe with openness and curiosity to grow. Things can move very quickly, but we are the drivers. Nothing moves unless we move it.